Jai. So we'll go into the texts. Sama, I'm going to do a couple of things here. I added a slide. So this is April 2025, lessons 4 and 5, and a brief review of what we left off after Krishna had put down Govardhan Hill and saved all the residents of Braj. There was a chapter titled Wonderful Krishna, chapter 26. So this is the introductory verse, which also gives a synopsis of the entire chapter. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter 26, text 1 from Sarartha Darshini. Sukadeva Goswami said, the cowherd men were astonished when they saw Krishna's activities, such as lifting Govardhan Hill. Unable to understand his transcendental potency, they approached Nanda Maharaj and spoke as follows. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. In this chapter, Nanda Maharaj describes Krishna's opulences as he had heard them from Garga Muni, in order to remove the doubts of the cowherd men about Krishna's powers. Because all the Brijbasis were immersed in tasting the sweetness of Krishna while he lifted Govardhan Hill, the opportunity to think about Krishna's astonishing power did not arise. Afterwards, when they had returned to their homes, they all began to have a doubt, and thus they thought, now we have directly seen child Krishna lift Govardhan Hill, and we remember how he killed Putana and other demons, extinguished the forest fire, and so on. At that time, we thought that these extraordinary acts occurred because of a benediction from the Brahmins, or because of Nanda Maharaj's great fortune, or that perhaps this boy had achieved the mercy of Lord Narayan and was thus empowered by him. But all these presumptions were false, because an ordinary 7-year-old boy could never hold up the king of mountains for 7 whole days. Krishna is not a human being. He must be the Supreme Lord himself. So this chapter, Wonderful Krishna, gives a hint of how they're starting to connect the dots of all of Krishna's different pastimes as he grew up as a child, and they're starting to understand that he is not an ordinary human being or even empowered by Lord Narayan. They're thinking now that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So now the story continues. Samapriya, can you choose someone to read for us next, please?
Nanda, would you like to read? Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome.
Thank you very kindly. So this is chapter 27, Prayers by Indra, the King of Heaven. Krishna book. This is from Krishna book. It's a review of the Bhagavatam 10th canto, chapter 27, verse 1 to 14. My dear Lord, you are the Supreme Father, the Supreme Spiritual Master, and the Supreme King. Therefore, you have the right to chastise all living entities whenever there is any discrepancy in their behavior. The Father, the Spiritual Master, and the Supreme Executive Officer of the state are always well-wishers of their sons, their students, and their citizens, respectively. As such, the well-wishers have the right to chastise their dependents. By your own desire, you appear auspiciously on the earth in your eternal varieties of forms. You come to glorify the earthly planet and specifically to chastise persons who are falsely claiming to be God. In the material world, there is a regular competition between different types of living entities to become supreme leaders of society. And after being frustrated in achieving the supreme positions of leadership, foolish persons claim to be God, the Supreme Personality. There are many such foolish personalities in this world like me. But in due course of time, when they come to their senses, they surrender unto you and again engage themselves properly by rendering service unto you. And that is the supreme purpose of your chastising. Oh, no. And that is the purpose of your chastising persons envious of you.
Okay, well, I have two questions before you go on to the next one. Of course, Prabhupada's talking a lot about falsely claiming to be God. How far does that go? Only with leaders? And the second part of the question is envious of you. Who does that refer to?
Well, of course, it does not only pertain to leaders, but it has much bigger effect when leaders falsely claim to be God. Just like we're all thinking that we're the supreme center of everything, but when someone like Indra thinks he's the supreme center of everything, and he has all that power behind him, and he can throw thunderbolts and call out the Shambhantaka clouds to come, and it has a much bigger effect on people than
Yeah.
somebody else's puny little overinflated ego.
Right. I just heard Prabhupada say that if the leaders become Krishna conscious, then all the praja will.
Yeah.
That's of course that. What about envious? That envious of God. How does that work? If I'm envious of someone, how does that mean I'm envious of God?
Well, because we're not seeing that well, Srila Prabhupada would say that we can't claim to be brothers. We can't falsely claim to be brothers unless we understand who our common father is. So similarly, if we're envious of other living entities, it's kind of like a denial of the presence of the Lord in that person's, heart, So that's where my mind is taken. But I don't know what you're thinking. So what are you thinking?
No, well, I was just thinking that because I've always questioned this. How does that mean that I'm envious of God if I'm envious of a living entity? He's arranging everything. He puts everything everywhere in all instances, and he arranges whatever we're going through, each one of us. So without surrendering and accepting that, I concluded that that's envy. What do you think about? Oh, here's Chaita with something.
Let's see what she has.
Hare Krishna, my sweetie. How are you?
Haribol Dandavat pranams, dear devotees. So I was reading in Jaiva Dharma that envy is considered the polar opposite of prema. So that puts it into perspective that if you don't love someone, then you're not wishing them well, and you just have the completely your attitude towards them is very destructive, and envy does that to us. Haribol.
Yeah, well, how does that link up with us being envious of Krishna?
Well, we resent that someone else is more important and more opulent than we are.
Well, we got a lot of resentment to do, because pretty much everyone is. Hare Krishna.
You can't possibly catch up. True. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Nanda, why don't you continue, Angel?
This is Krishna book, reviewing of Indra's prayers continued. My dear Lord, I committed a great offense unto your lotus feet, being falsely proud of my material opulences, not knowing your unlimited power. Therefore, my Lord, kindly excuse me, because I'm fool number one. Kindly give me your blessing so that I may not act so foolishly again. If you think, my Lord, that the offense is very great and cannot be excused, then I appeal to you that I am your eternal servant. Your appearance in this world is to give protection to your eternal servants and to destroy the demons who maintain great military strength just to burden the very existence of the earth. As I am your eternal servant, kindly excuse me. My dear Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you because you are the Supreme Person and the Supreme Soul. You are the son of Vasudeva, and you are the Supreme Lord Krishna, the master of all pure devotees. Please accept my prostrated obeisances. You are the personification of supreme knowledge. You can appear anywhere according to your desire in any one of your eternal forms. You are the root of all creation and the supreme soul of all living entities. Due to my gross ignorance, I created great disturbance in Vrindavan by sending torrents of rain and heavy hailstorms. I acted out of severe anger caused by your stopping the sacrifice, which was to be held to satisfy me. But, my dear Lord, you are so kind to me that you have bestowed your mercy upon me by destroying my false pride. I therefore take shelter unto your lotus feet. My dear Lord, you are not only the supreme controller, but also the spiritual master of all living entities.
Oh, okay. Before you tell me what all of this means, what does false pride mean? Is pride ever real?
Oh, yeah, Prabhupada said that you can have real pride. You can pride yourself that you're a devotee of Krishna. That could be real pride, at least in perspective anyway, but it doesn't mean that you're better than everybody else. But yeah, false pride means that we've got our head on upside down.
Okay, oh, that's good. Okay, so what is going on in this purport? What is
Well,
Lord Indra?
so Indra's making his apologies to the Lord, but at the same time, you can see that there's still some more layers there that have to be cleansed off of his ego thing, because even he's saying that, even it struck me when he said, you was, okay, in the second paragraph, halfway down, he said, you are the root of all creation and the supreme soul of all living beings. Yes. And then, due to my gross ignorance, I created great disturbance in Vrindavan by sending torrents of rain and heavy hailstone, which he did. But due to his gross ignorance, he could have said, I tried to kill everybody in Vrindavan and the cows. You know what I mean? It's just, it's touching on the subject matter, but it's not, in my opinion. Here I am judging King Indra. I think I have a lot of false pride here.
Actually, Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur, Indra, Nanda, in this section, we're not going over it because this is just a review of the week we didn't cover. But he also pointed out that Indra's prayers were not coming from a pure-hearted platform.
I do remember that.
And then he used as evidence, he said, because he again fought with Krishna during the Parijata flower episode.
Yeah. So in that sense of analyzing it, you can see that, yes, there's repentance there, but it's not deep enough.
It's also self-motivated. He said he's actually praying out of fear. He knows he's wrong.
Yamaraj to come.
Yes. One point I wanted to ask too, it says here, you're also the spiritual master of all living entities. Oftentimes, Srila Prabhupada would explain that his duty was to instruct and chastise disciples. How and why is that?
Because there's this thing called false pride and our false conception of ourselves. And so the spiritual master his duty is to root that out and place Krishna there in our hearts, and have our realization be that Krishna is so great and he is the supreme personality of God and he is the most lovable one. And I am totally insignificant and part and his servant, part and parcel of him. And it's my position, my duty, my real place to do that. So the spiritual master is always, among other things, bringing us to that realization or pointing out that's one of the root causes of our problems is our false conception of who we are.
Nice. Just like Krishna is doing here to Indra.
Yes.
Indra, I mean, we were meditating and talking about his position as king of heaven, practically king of the universe in one sense. Brahma's the creator, but we can't even imagine what that power and position affords a person. So when Krishna was going to stop that sacrifice, like you said, you pointed it out nicely, he actually wanted to kill him and all his associates. It was like, that's how powerful pride and the desire for honor is in the heart. So it really took this whole event to at least wake him up somewhat.
Totally.
You know, that whole concept of desire for honor, it is, you know, when you actually realize that that's what is the difficulty, and you take steps to just like withdraw your false ego. And it's a really, it's not an easy thing. It's not easy, but it's a progressive march. It's a progressive march to withdraw the false ego and the false pride. I've dabbled in it a little.
Well, I was just thinking we've actually spent our life going through those kinds of circumstances. Any devotee that is introspective will at least be on guard for it and knock it down with whatever powers we have while life goes on, and you become more attuned to seeing it starting to rise itself so that you can snuff it before it gets too out of hand. Tucker Murari?
Krishna, welcome back. So I'm thinking the post of Indra. Indra has been, when they say, involved in a lot of not so nice dealings. For example, there's the past time hearing that they were, I think the Ramayan wearing, he said that a Brahmana left his wife and Indra came dressed as the Brahmana and had some dealings with the wife. There's also the as wearing that when after Krishna had brought back some ornaments, some things, you know, he had fought and brought back some things to Indra. When he fought with regards to the Parijata, you know, the Parijata flower. So we're saying that is there something we have to learn from Indra's mood, in the sense that being king of heaven is, as you said, Prabhu, is, I mean, it's mind-boggling to us how Indra could have such resources at his disposal, but so angry because they are stopped by the sacrifice just from one, you know, part of the universe. So is there something we have to learn? Because Indra seemed to get in, his post up India seemed to get in all sorts of, you know, situations, you know, so I don't know what's your take on it.
It's amazing. He really is. I mean, you think we have to work on our false ego, which Nanda was saying in the beginning. We don't have that much influence, you know. We're with teeny weeny things. But if a big leader is not really perfect, then he's heading the way. If people imitate a great man, whether he's good or bad. They said there's a verse in the Bhagavad Gita. What wise men do, others will follow. Well, also, if an idiot is a president or a leader of something, people will follow, you know. And we've had many. We've seen it all over the world, you know. So that's very important too. All right, why don't you read for anyone else?
Now we pick up at this week's lessons.
Okay. There you go. Murari, why don't you read this, Thakur?
Okay.
Slowly, read slowly. Slowly.
I try.
Good, thank you. It's only because I'm a fool. Go on.
10:27, 14-17, Sarasa Darshini. Shukadev Goswami said, thus glorified by Indra, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, smiled and then spoke to him as follows in a voice resonant like the clouds. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Indra, it was out of mercy that I stopped the sacrifice meant for you. You were greatly intoxicated by your opulence as king of heaven, and I wanted you to always remember me. Vishwanath Chakrabarti, Shri Krishna and Indra are hearing having a heart-to-heart talk. Indra sincerely revealed his mind to the Lord, and now Krishna similarly reveals his own purpose. A man blinded by intoxication with his power and opulence cannot see me nearby with the rod of punishment in my hand. If I desire his real welfare, I drag him down from his materially fortunate position. Indra, you may now go. Execute my order and remain in your appointed position as king of heaven, but be sober without false pride. Wow.
Go on, read the purpose.
Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur. So Indra was alone Krishna here addresses him in the plural form because this grave instruction was meant to be a lesson for all the demigods, like Varuna, who is mentioned in the next chapter. Krishna said, continue your position, but remain sober and without false pride. Otherwise, I will punish you again. Shri Krishna did not promise here that Indra would not be afflicted by pride again. Later to carry out Krishna's pastime of stealing Indra's fragile flower, it was necessary for Indra to show pride.
Goodness. So what does this mean about showing pride?
Yes. So it seems that Indra's performance, like for example, in the drama, that Indra, it seems that you wonder how is it that Indra is doing certain things, but they're saying that it's saying that here that it seems that is as part of a Leela, Indra plays this part. So that's my take on it. But here again, the false pride comes in, and I think remember a story in Brahma that asked the Lord that let him not be full of pride during his
right.
process of creation.
Right.
Yes. So we see, the false pride is coming back again here. We shall not talk about it, talking about false pride.
Also, we can learn from this situation. Can't we? You want to put it back to the words, Patti? We can learn from Indra's, this whole pride of Indra, these stories, these histories in the Bhagavatam are to help us learn something. We have to be learning something from this miraculous and incredible story of Indra's pride. Go on, tell me more about this.
Another point that jumping out at me is that here it says that it was necessary for, he did not promise here that Indra would not be afflicted by pride again. There's two sides to this. One is the individual's attempt to become freed from pride, but there's also the blessings of the Lord to allow that pureness of heart to manifest.
Whoa.
We're not all powerful even in our own consciousness.
I mean, we're not talking about an ordinary person here. I don't even think, it just dawned on me this morning how Indra is a symbol of the most immense desire and pride and everything that we look for in this material world. Indra is the epitome. It's not hard it's not easy to give up that nature, because it's attractive. We're attracted to that in the material world. Even when we see it in ourselves, we become attracted, enamored by all these material qualities. Anything else you have to say, Murari, about what you just read? Oh, and there's Nanda. First you answer, Thakur.
You want me to go and Nanda should go?
No, you finish. I want you to finish. And then
okay.
Nanda.
So I recall a passage in the Bible says, pride goes before destruction and heart is sweet before fall. So we are saying that in terms of, you keep saying, Indra being an administrator, a demigod, why is it that he is so angry, full of so much pride? But as I say, what is there for us to learn? But we are saying that it's there for us to learn that, yes, whatever position we have has been given to us. So we should humbly perform those activities without being prideful, in the sense that we're going to be brought down to our senses.
That's very perfectly said. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Nandaji.
I just wanted to mention one thing that struck me in Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's comments there, when he made the remark that Krishna was addressing Indra in the plural.
Right, yeah.
Because the other demigods were involved. I never considered that before. When he mentioned how Varuna was involved, the rainstorms, and then he's referring to the next chapter of the stealing of Nanda Maharaj. But still, it just was like, Oh, yeah, there were other, the wind god was involved because that was part of the storms and everything. And it just was just like a little bit of another light bulb, an illumination.
Interesting, because you said involved. I didn't think of it like that. I just thought of all the demigods, but actually there were other demigods involved in this ordeal.
That's what I got, unless
Yeah, no,
it's
that's
a
good.
impression.
That's good. I just gave all the demigods. Everyone's full of pride, but that's a very specific thing that you mentioned. Good, thank you. Anything else? We're going to go on then. I wonder, Faye, are you still a little bit incapacitated?
Krishna Mataji, I cannot read yet.
Okay, sweetie. Okay, we pray for your healing. Okay, well, then we'll just go on. Chita, would you read, sweetie?
Hari Bol, Dhanapat Pranams, everyone. Thank you. Krishna book, Srimad Bhagavatam 10:27, 14 through 17. Thus praised by Indra, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, smiling beautifully, said, "My dear Indra, I have stopped your sacrifice just to show you my causeless mercy and to revive your memory that I am your eternal master. I am not only your master, but I am the master of all the other demigods as well. You should always remember that all your material opulences are due to my mercy. Everyone should always remember that I am the Supreme Lord. I can show anyone my favor, and I can chastise anyone because no one is superior to me. If I find someone overpowered by false pride, in order to show him my causeless mercy, I withdraw all his opulences." It is noteworthy that Krishna sometimes removes all opulences in order to facilitate a rich man's becoming a surrendered soul to him. This is a special favor of the Lord's. Sometimes it is seen that a person is very opulent materially, but due to his devotional service to the Lord, he may be reduced to poverty. One should not think, however, that because he worshipped the Supreme Lord, he became poverty-stricken. The real purport is that when a person is a pure devotee, but at the same time, by miscalculation, he wants to lord it over material nature, the Lord shows his special mercy by taking away all material opulences until at last he surrenders unto the Supreme Lord. After instructing Indra, Lord Krishna asked him to return to his kingdom in the heavenly planet and to remember always that he is never the Supreme, but is always subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He also advised him to remain as King of Heaven, but to be careful of false pride.
So what do you think about Krishna removing obstacles, the obstacle of opulence? What does that really mean? Nobody wants to lose their opulence. How is that helpful?
Yeah, I think you said it. It's an obstacle because it makes us feel that we are the source. We are the source of these opulences. So that was a beautiful line in the purport there, that we need to remember that Krishna is the source of all of our wealth, all of the great things that we have. And this is something that a line that I try to employ when I'm distributing books, and that everything that you have that's gorgeous, all your intelligence, all your good looks, that beautiful car you're driving, all of it comes from Krishna. You're not the cause of that. but it's so easy to forget Krishna and just to think, because he's in our material vision, he's very subtle. We tend to
Right.
push Krishna aside and say, yeah, of course, this car is beautiful because of me, and I'm beautiful because of me. And we get so deluded by
Yeah.
this.
Wow. True.
It's
Thank
beautiful.
you.
And this whole purport is reminding me of that verse 1088:8, where Krishna says, if I especially favor someone, I remove all of their opulences. And they actually become rejected by their families because they have nothing to offer anymore.
Wow.
But it's a really important concept that we are in the ultimate picture, we are akinchana. We have nothing.
Right. Wonderful.
Regarding this, I have a YouTube page that for the last 15 years since we've been doing this courses, I used to put a lot of Prabhupada lectures up, little clips. And the most famous one, the most popular one was concerning this topic. So I'm going to play it for everybody now for a second.
Oh,
Yeah.
please do.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a few minutes, but it's a nice one. Yeah. Can you all see it?
Yes.
Okay, tell me if you can't hear it, let me know.
Yeah,
Into.
that's good.
I can't hear it.
You can't hear it?
No.
Okay, hold on a second.
Sorry, Prabhupada. It's in Los Angeles.
Huh. Says optimize and share sound.
Okay. First waiting.
If it's not going to work, then I'm not going to play it. I'll put it up another thing. You hear it?
It says on pause when you said that. I can't hear anything.
Can you hear that?
No. No.
No? Okay. Sorry. I'll post it on the course.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about what?
Well, he's
Prabhupada
talking
said?
about, Srila Prabhupada's talking about his own experience.
Oh.
That verse that
Yes.
Chattamai just quoted, that when I favor someone, I take everything away. And somebody and Prabhupada said, I have my personal experience, and someone in the audience chuckled a little, and Prabhupada said, it's no laughing matter. I don't care to tell the history. And then he chuckles, and then he goes in and he tells the history. So sorry, I
Wow.
couldn't get the sound. I don't know why.
Okay, well, let's hear what Tucker
Ah,
has to say,
Tucker,
and
yeah.
and Chaitanya, I wanted you to read the next one, if that's okay.
Yeah, so there's a story. This guy, I think it's like ruler or prince, he went to Jesus, and he wanted to follow him, and Jesus asked him some question. If he had done that, he said yes. Jesus said, then you should go and sell all you have and give to the poor. And king said, well, I can't do that. I'm not able to give it up. Also, he was saying to the disciples, you cannot serve two masters. If you're going to be serving God, then you cannot be wanting to serve material nature too.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So,
Nice.
so I'm reminded of that one, yes. So,
Very nice.
yes. Yeah.
I
That
just
goes
made
so
it.
deep.
Okay.
Go on,
Yeah.
Pati.
I just made an adjustment. I can try it again, see,
Okay.
because it's a good one.
From me by discharging devotional
Can you hear it?
service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why shall I give him material prosperity? Rather, whatever he has got, I shall take it up. Yes. It is not laughing. When it is taken away, we become very morose. But that is the test. That is stated by Krishna himself to Yudhishthira Maharaj. Jasyaham manigrinnami harisetat dhanam sanai. Yudhishthira Maharaj indirectly inquired from Krishna that we are completely dependent on you, and still we are suffering materially so much that our kingdom is taken away, our wife is insulted, you are attempted to be burned in a house. So Krishna said, yes, that is my first business. Jasyaham anugrinami harise tadhanam sunai. If I especially favor anybody, then I take away all his sources of income. Very dangerous, yes. I have got my practical experience in this connection. Yeah, that is Krishna's special favor. I do not wish to narrate, but it is a fact. It is a fact. My Guru Maharaj ordered me when I was 25 years old that you go and preach. But I thought, first of all, I shall become a rich man and I shall use that money for preaching work. So, that's a long history. I got good opportunity for becoming very rich man in business. And some astrologer told me that you should have become like Birla. So there was some chances, very good chances. I was manager in a big chemical factory. I started my own factory. The business was very successful. But everything was dismantled. I was forced to come to this position to carry out my order of my Guru Maharaj. Akinchana Vidyaya. When everything was finished, then I took Krishna, that you are the only. Therefore Krishna is Akinchana Vidyaya. When one becomes finished of all his material opulences, then now I am realizing that I am not lost, I have gained. I have gained. That's a fact. So, to lose material opulences for Krishna's sake is not loss. It is the greatest gain. Therefore it is said, Akinchana Vidyaya. When one becomes Akinchana, nothing to possess, everything finished, then Krishna becomes the only riches for such person because he is devotee. Just like Narottam Das Thakur says, Aha Prabhu Nanda Suta, Vrishabhanu Suta Juta, Koruna Karaha Eiba. Narottama Daso kahe na ঠেলিও রাঙা পায় তুমি বিনা কে আছে আমার. This position. Now, Krishna, accept yourself. I have nothing to claim. I have nothing, no position. So don't neglect me because you are my only position. This position is very nice. When we do not depend on anything material, simply depend on Krishna. That is first class position of Krishna consciousness. Therefore,
Yeah, sure.
Prabhupada.
Wow. We're so glad that Prabhupada came. Oh, Krishna. Okay, so that was,
Yes.
you know, who can say anything after Prabhupada speaks like that? All right, is this the next slide? No. Is it? Yeah. Why don't you read this, Chaitanya?
Okay. Sarartha Darshini, Srimad Bhagavatam 10, 27, 18. Mother Sarabi, along with her progeny, the cows, then offered her obeisances to Lord Krishna. Respectfully requesting his attention, the gentle lady addressed the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who was present before her as a cowherd boy. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments, the heavenly cow, Sarabi, affectionately thought of the spiritual cows of Raj as her own offspring, although they were the offspring of the transcendental cows that play with Krishna. Similarly, though Sri Krishna actually comes from the dynasty of the spiritual moon, Chandra Vamsha, the material moon often thinks of Krishna as his offspring. Sarabi, along with the cows of Raj, respectfully begged Krishna for his attention and offered the following prayers.
Why don't you continue?
Okay, I just wanted to say I really appreciate that beautiful photo, real beautiful painting of Gopal Krishna and the cow. It's so sweet. Thank you for posting that. So now this is Srimad Bhagavatam 10:27, 19 through 21, Sarartha Darshini. Mother Sarabi said, "Oh Krishna, Krishna, greatest of mystics, O soul and origin of the universe, you are the master of the world, and by your grace, O infallible Lord, we have you as our master. You are our worshipable deity. Therefore, O Lord of the universe, for the benefit of the cows, the Brahmins, the demigods, and all other saintly persons, please become our Indra. As ordered by Lord Brahma, we shall perform your bathing ceremony to coronate you as Indra. O soul of the universe, you descend to this world to relieve the burden of the earth." Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments, Sarabi said, "As you are our Indra, we will install you in the role of Indra with an Abhishek." Krishna said, "By whose order do you want to do this? Is it some independent desire?" Sarabi, "It has been ordered by Brahma." When Indra was afflicted with fear, he went to Brahm to explain everything about your Govardhan Leela. Brahma felt somewhat fearful upon remembering his previous offense to you. So he gave me this order. O Sarabi, you are very dear to the Lord, the protector of your relatives. Therefore, you should go to Krishna, the ocean of mercy. Get Indra forgiven for his offense, perform an Abhishek, and install Krishna as the king, Indra, of the cows.
Okay, so first I have something I wanted to ask you. It's subtle, but it's an important point. What is this thing about independent desire? Krishna's asking, where'd you get this? How come you're here? On whose authority?
Yeah.
What does that mean to us?
That's exactly right. Our desires need to be aligned with Krishna's desires. Otherwise, it's just mental speculation, and therefore it can
through who?
Through mental speculation through our
through the spiritual master.
Oh, through the spiritual master. Right. Oh, okay.
This is real important. It's a real important point. Not to have independent desire to come. He specifically asks, "Who sent you? Why are you here?" Wanting to know the authority.
So Lord Brahma was acting as the spiritual master in this case.
Right.
So that makes it bona fide.
Yeah, it does. It makes it bona fide. We can't act on our own whim, you know.
We have to keep coming back, keep circling back to our spiritual master for our direction.
Good.
Otherwise, we go into a ditch.
We do. We go into a ditch. That's true. Anything else that you want to say about what you read? That just stuck out on me.
It's just wonderful that Sarabi is so anxious and enthusiastic to perform some personal service for Lord Krishna.
I thought it was also very insightful on Brahma's part to knowing that Indra really did perform an extremely bad offense. He didn't just test Krishna. He wanted to kill him and all his cows and all his friends. So Brahma's suggesting and instructing that to Indra, you go and bring Sarabi with you, because if you bring a cow with you who's on your side, then it will lessen Krishna's anger. He'll be appeased by you having her by your side.
She's authorizing him.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Very nice. Good point. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay, so let's go on. Thank you, my darling. Nanda, would you like to read for us? Nandaji?
Yes, there. But what about Manvantar? Did she?
Oh, I'm sorry. Manvantara. Right. I'm sorry, darling. You're next, Nanda. Manvantara. So nice to see you.
Hey, Hare Krishna.
How are you?
Okay.
Good.
May I make a comment?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Compared to Lord Indra's prayer to Lord Brahma, Chatamai read it earlier, not this time, but earlier, where Indra was being instructed by Krishna in the position as God, the master. But with Lord Brahma, he wouldn't even admit that he's the master of Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma was like, "But you're my master," and Krishna was like, "I'm just a little boy. What are you talking about?" Do you know what I mean? But with Indra, he was like, "You need to understand that I'm the master." Do you know?
Okay. Why do you think that was?
Well, Lord Brahma is much humbler than he presented himself as, compared at least to Indra. I mean, really.
Yeah. And Indra had to hear that Krishna is the master.
Exactly.
Yeah. And do you know who Lord Brahma wound up taking birth as?
Yeah, you said it, but I have a really bad time with Sanskrit names and.
No, this is the easiest one ever.
That
Okay, who knows who is Lord Brahma in the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya? Don't answer, Nanda.
The Prabhu,
Oh, that she knows. Manvantar, what?
The Prabhu that does the thousands and thousands of names of
the
Krishna.
Prabhu, the Namacharya Prabhu. Okay, Chaita, who is he?
Srila Haridas Thakur.
Hariro. He is our hero.
Yeah.
He is our hero, Haridas Thakur.
That was a nice point Manvantara made, though, that Brahma didn't, Krishna didn't reveal a all-powerful, awe-inspiring. He did show him everything, but he didn't do it in such a way that it was a chastisement. It was more like a revelation.
Right.
Great, good point.
Okay, go on reading.
Krishna book, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 27, text 19 through 21. After this, the transcendental Sarabi cow, who also came with Indra to see Krishna, offered her respectful obeisances unto him and worshipped him. The Sarabi offered her prayers as follows. My dear Lord Krishna, you are the most powerful of all mystic yogis, because you are the soul of the complete universe. And from you, only all this cosmic manifestation has taken place. Therefore, although Indra tried his best to kill my descendant cows in Vrindavan, they remained under your shelter, and you have protected them all so well. We do not know anyone else as the supreme, nor do we go to any other god or demigod for protection. Therefore, you are our Indra. You are the supreme father of the whole cosmic manifestation, and you are the protector and elevator of all the cows, brahmanas, demigods, and others who are pure devotees of your lordship. O super soul of the universe, let us bathe you with our milk, because you are our Indra. O Lord, you appear just to diminish the burden of impure activities on the earth.
Okay, before we go on, which I want you to read the next one, do you have anything to say about this?
It's a very nice prayer. I'm behind in my reading, so I didn't have much contemplation on it before this. But what came to mind was when when Prigit was chastising the person who was killing the cows that was standing on four legs, and the point about Dharma and the male cow was standing on, well, the bull was standing on one leg, and Prigit was inquiring from the cows, like, who did this to you? You know, and she was like, you know pretty well who has done this, but they didn't want to say. It's just like this prayer is also a representation of that. Like they're literally, she's really true to her word. Like it just reminds me of that incident.
Anyone else? Betsy, you want to elaborate on
No,
that?
I think we can go on, Sam.
Okay,
We covered that. That's Sarabi's prayers.
that's beautiful. Go on, Amitar.
Sarta Darshini, text 21 through 26. Sukadev Goswami said, having thus appealed to Lord Krishna, Mother Sarabi performed his bathing ceremony with her own milk, and Indra, ordered by Aditi and other mothers of the demigods, anointed the Lord with the heavenly Ganga water from the trunk of Indra's elephant carrier, Aryavata. Thus, in the company of the demigods and great sages, Indra coordinated Lord Krishna, the descendant of Darsha, and gave him the name Govinda.
Right. There you go.
Tamburu, Narada, and other Gandharvas, along with the Vidyaharas, Siddhas, and Charanas, came there to sing the glories of Lord Hari, which purify the entire world, and the wives of the demigods, filled with joy, danced together in the Lord's honor. The most eminent demigods chanted the praises of the Lord and scattered wonderful showers of flowers all around him. All three worlds felt supreme satisfaction, and the cows drenched the surface of the earth with their milk. Rivers flowed with various kinds of tasty liquids. Trees exude honey. Edible plants came to maturity without cultivation, and hills gave forth jewels formerly hidden in their interiors. O Prigit, beloved of the Kuru dynasty, upon the ceremonial bathing of Lord Krishna, all living creatures, even those cruel by nature, became entirely free of enmity. After he had ceremonially bathed Lord Govinda, who was the master of the cows and the cowherd community, King Indra took the Lord's permission and, surrounded by the demigods and other higher beings, returned to his heavenly abode. Visvanatha Chakravarti Thakur's commentary. After praying to Krishna to accept the post of Indra, Surabi bathed the Lord with her milk. Because Indra was embarrassed by his blunder of attacking Vrindavan, he was reluctant to worship Krishna. However, after receiving encouragement from Aditi and the other heavenly mothers, Indra felt authorized and then bathed Sri Krishna. Though Krishna had appeared in the Dasara dynasty because he had a greater desire to be a cowherd boy, they named him Govinda. Go means cows, and Vinda means to protect. Go can also mean Swarga, heaven. Therefore, Govinda can mean one who enjoys the position of Indra. Go also means the senses. Govinda then means one who protects or nourishes the devotees by attracting their senses. After Krishna's Abhishek ceremony, all living entities gave up their natural animosities toward each other and became friends.
Oh my goodness, that's quite wonderful. You know, it struck me something about mothers. I think it's really interesting how there's. Patty, could you put it back to the verses? I think it's wonderful how mothers are referred to. We're always interested to see nowadays how are women being treated. And actually, it was because Sarabi's a mother, the cow, and then the mothers of the universe, the mothers of the demigods are present. I thought that was really beautiful that the mothers came. And you want to comment on that, Mama Tara? The position of the mothers in the universe.
I think you said it perfectly. The Sarabi is the representation of mother and motherhood, and the mothers of the universe having appeared there as well.
Well, they actually authorized Indra to bathe. And did they collect all of the? Oh, there's Nanda. Nanda, help us out.
Well, the point that the mothers were there to encourage Indra. You know, he was reluctant to do the worship, and the mothers, in their motherly affection, I almost said infection, but encouraged him to do it. And that's the position of a mother. What does the mother do? She has all these different children. They have all these different personalities, and she's encouraging them all to be the best of whom they can be. And also there's another little phrase somewhere, but often in the Bhagavatam, that the Vedas are more loving than millions of mothers, because they give something for people who different people are in different stages of their consciousness, you know, and there's something for those in the mode of ignorance, there's something in the mode of goodness, passion, you know, there's something for everyone, because they're encouraging them to come to the highest position that they can come to.
Good.
Anyway.
That's good. No, very, very important how the mothers, that, I mean, if the mother has a very important role in the functioning of everything. Since we all come from a mother, we know that. It's very, very well said, Nandaji.
Yeah, and very, very, and that's why when modern, quote unquote, modern personalities hear the, you know, mother, you know, and they're thinking that it's a not a very respectful title, but actually they're not really appreciating the real position of the mother. That's the point, you know.
That is the point. That is the point. It's
a very honorific title.
Yes. So when someone calls you mother, that means you have a responsibility right away to imbibe all the qualities of a mother. You know, it's just really a wonderful exchange that we have in the Vaishnava culture that I don't want to see us lose. That's my personal desire. Anyone else have something to say about this? If not, Nanda, I would like you to read the next slide and go into the next chapter as well.
Okay. Krishna book, 10th canto, 27th verse, 9, these are verses 19 to 27, a summary of them. In this way, Krishna was bathed by the milk of the Sarabi cows, and Indra bathed the Lord by the water of the celestial Ganges through the trunk of his carrier elephant. After this, the heavenly king Indra, along with Sarabi cows and all other demigods and their mothers, worshipped Lord Krishna by bathing him with Ganges water and the milk of the Sarabis. Thus, Govinda, Lord Krishna, was pleased with all of them. The residents of all higher planetary systems, such as Gandharva Loka, Pitri Loka, Siddha Loka, and Charana Loka, all combined and began to glorify the Lord by chanting his holy name. Their wives and damsels began to dance with great joy. They very much satisfied the Lord by incessantly pouring flowers from the sky. When everything was very nicely and joyfully settled, the cows overflooded the surface of the earth with their milk. The waters of the rivers began to flow and give nourishment to the trees, producing fruits and flowers of different colors and tastes. The trees began to pour drops of honey. The hills and mountains began to produce potent medicinal plants and valuable stones. Because of Krishna's presence, all these things happened very nicely, and the lower animals, who were generally envious, were envious no longer. After satisfying Krishna, who is the Lord of the cows in Vrindavan, who is known as Govinda, King Indra took his permission to return to his heavenly kingdom. He was surrounded by all kinds of demigods who passed with him through cosmic space. This great incident is a powerful example of how Krishna consciousness can benefit the world. Even the lower animals forgot their envious nature and became elevated to the qualities of the demigods. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of the 27th chapter of Krishna, Prayers by Indra, the King of Heaven.
Hare Krishna. Well, that pretty much sums it up. Anything you want to say about this purport?
No, it just very nicely describes how everything and everyone can live in harmony when Krishna is at the center, and how he harmonizes everything, even the flowing rivers and the fruits and the trees and the minerals and non-envious lower animals, because Krishna is in the center.
Yeah, if Krishna's in the center, it makes us satisfied within. Each one of us satisfied with our individual relationship with Krishna. It's beautiful, beautiful system. Anyone else have something to say about this section? Because we're going to move on right now with the next chapter. So we're going to close these. There it is. We're moving on. Go on, Nandaji.
Chapter 28, Releasing Nanda Maharaj from the Clutches of Varuna. This is from the Sartha Darshini, 10th canto, 28th chapter, verses 1 and 2. Sri Badarayani said, having worshipped Lord Janardhan and fasted on the Ekadasi day, Nanda Maharaj entered the water of the Kalindi on the Dwadasi day to take his bath. Because Nanda Maharaj entered the water in the dark of night, disregarding that the time was inauspicious, a demoniac servant of Varuna seized him and brought him to his master. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's comments, the servant of Varuna who arrested Nanda Maharaj is stated here to be a demon for several reasons. First, the servant was foolishly ignorant of Nanda Maharaj's position as the pastime father of Sri Krishna, the supreme absolute truth. Also, Nanda Maharaj's intention was to carry out the injunctions of scripture regarding breaking his Ekadasi fast. Therefore, Varuna's servant should not have arrested Nanda on the technical grounds that he bathed in the Jamuna at an inauspicious time. Later in this chapter, Varuna himself will say, Ajanata mamikena mudhena. This was done by my ignorant servant, who is a fool.
You want to go on? Because it's the same verses.
Okay, and this is from Krishna book. The Govardhan ceremony, and this is, I really like this section because Prabhupada just spells out the timetable of everything. Okay, the Govardhan ceremony took place on the new moon day. After this, there were torrents of rain and hailstones imposed by King Indra, for 7 days. 9 days of the waxing moon having passed. On the 10th day, King Indra worshipped Lord Krishna, and thus the matter was satisfactorily settled. After this, on the 11th day of the full moon, there was an Ekadasi. Maharaj Nanda observed fasting for the whole day, and just early in the morning of the Dwadasi, the day after Ekadasi, he went to take bath in the river Jamuna. He entered deep into the water of the river, but was arrested immediately by one of the servants of Varuna Dev. These servants brought Nanda Maharaj before the demigod Varuna and accused him of taking a bath in the river at the wrong time. According to astronomical calculations, the time in which he took bath was considered demoniac. The fact was, Nanda Maharaj wanted to take bath in the river Jamuna early in the morning before the sunrise, but somehow or other he was a little too early, and he bathed at an inauspicious time. Consequently, he was arrested.
My goodness. Does this happen nowadays if you bathe in the river too early?
I was thinking in a similar way. Obviously, these people, in general, they were so much more pious that they would get arrested if they made too early. I was thinking, wow, imagine what, all those I mean, there's still reactions for doing all the bad things, but they're not like that, because we're so degraded, we wouldn't even appreciate that being arrested.
My God.
But it's interesting, isn't it, how there's such an order to the universe. There's order, there's orders, there's auspicious times, there's inauspicious times, there's right things, there's wrong things, and there's the repercussions. Just like here in Alachua, we've been reading the last, seems like forever, but last few months of Diti's pregnancy in the evening. And what was that all about? That they had their sexual union at an inauspicious time and got a tremendously inauspicious result from that. So here's Nanda Maharaj. But it's interesting because Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur particularly points out that Nanda Maharaj's intention was not at all disrespectful. It was not all in disregard. His intention was to bathe, to take his bath, and break his Ekadasi fast. So that was very important. It wasn't that he was totally disregarding everything and going for an early swim because he wanted to, you know what I mean? And anyway, just interesting.
I don't think he was aware that he was making some kind of error.
Correct.
Of course, someone like him is beyond all the rules and regulations of the specific time to bathe, which was the offense. Chitta, thank you, Nandaji. Did you want to say something also?
Thank you, Nanda, for that wonderful group of insights about the whole thing. It was really helpful. I was just wondering what would be the consequence of someone being arrested by Varuna. Would he have gone to an underwater jail, or what would be the consequence?
I don't have any vegan on that one, but Nanda, what's the consequence?
Well, remember when Kalindi was walking by the bank, Kalindi, the daughter of the sun god, was walking by the Jamuna, and Arjuna and Krishna were there, and Krishna told Arjuna to go see Kalindi, who is she, find out who she is. Anyway, so she said, I'm the daughter of the sun god and I live in the water and then in the purports there, I believe the Bhagavatam purports, it explains that the sun god knew the art of making the water solid. So she had a house in the Jamuna. She had a house made of water in the Jamuna. Well, that's my understanding, that it was made of water in the Jamuna. And so getting arrested by Varuna could mean many things. It could be going to a watery jail, yes. But obviously, because it specifically mentions I think in the upcoming verses, we're going to read that Varuna, he recognized Nanda Maharaj right away and put him on a jeweled throne. So, they have all sorts of facilities down there. It's just like they know the art of living in the water. We don't know that art, so it seems like impossible, but it's being qualified to live in the water or whatever, or live in.
Yeah, Prabhupada talks about that you can't live in the water, but there's so many living entities in the water. You have the special body to facilitate living in the water.
Right.
Thank you, Nandaji.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. And then, I thought, Madhurya Leela, maybe she would like to read. Madhurya, would you like to read? Let's see. Let's give her a minute. Madhurya Ji, are you there?
I'm sorry. I'm not going to be able to read. I'm listening.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So, actually, okay, Thakur, Murari Thakur. Would you like to read? Or are you? Hold on, folks. Murari, Thakur Murari, are you with us? I can't hear you, Prabhu. Can you read? I think he's frozen. Okay, we'll come back to him. Chika, you read.
Hari Hari Bol. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:28-3, Sarartha Darshini. O king, not seeing Nanda Maharaj, the cowherd men loudly cried out, "O Krishna! O Rama!" Lord Krishna heard their cries and understood that his father had been captured by Varuna. Therefore, the Almighty Lord, who makes his devotees fearless, went to the court of Varuna Dev. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments, several cowherd men accompanied Nanda Maharaj as guards when he went to take his bath at night. When Nanda did not come out of the water, they began to cry out. Though Krishna was far away, sleeping on his bed of flowers, he heard the cowherd men shouting, Krishna, Rama. The word upashritya indicates that Krishna heard from close by. Because Krishna is all-pervading, he is always very near to everyone. Understanding the situation, Krishna rushed there, jumped into the water, and went to the court of Varuna. Krishna was determined to free his father and the other cowherd men from the fear of a mere demigod. Krishna is called Svanam Abhaya Da, relieving the fear of his associates, because by freeing Nanda from Varuna's clutches, Krishna relieved the fear of his relatives.
Wow. What do you think about that? Krishna relieves the fear of his associates by calling out to him. How can you relate?
It's so wonderful that he is truly all-pervading and he's close by. And sometimes we get this idea that, oh, he's far away, but no, it's as the story of Prahlad Maharaj and his challenge from Hiranyakashipu. Is he here? Is he in that pillar?
Right. Good example.
Yeah, he's right there. He's right there ready to lend us a hand, but we just need to stay in touch with him.
You have to cry out.
And he acted immediately. It says Krishna rushed there, jumped into the water. So he wasn't going to be in trouble for long. It's so reassuring to read these things, that just as he protects Nanda Maharaj, he will be there for us. It's a nice thing to memorize. I'm thinking Svanam Abhaya Da, relieves the fear of his associates.
Wow, lovely. Prabhupada said about that, we should have that much faith that Krishna will protect us. We should have that much faith, at least. Here we are chanting, hearing about him. We should have that much faith that he's not cold. He sees us. He sees everything. He's all pervasive. So he sees what we're going through to try to approach him. Okay.
Nanda has her hand up.
Nandaji.
Hare Krishna. I just like that. I appreciate that point of Krishna being nearby. And I appreciate that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur pointed that out in the Sanskrit, that how, although Krishna was far away, sleeping on his flower bed, because he's all pervasive, he's always very near. And that reminded me of Gajendra. When Gajendra, at the end of his fight with the crocodile after 1,000 years, he kind of realized that he wasn't going to win the fight. He just picked up a lotus with the trunk of his elephant and he called out. And in the purport there, and he offered his prayer. And in the purport to that section, Prabhupada says that how far away was Krishna from Gajendra at the time? He was, incalculably millions and millions and millions of miles away in his Vaikuntha planet. But he heard Gajendra's call and he immediately appeared there. Because why? Because he can. He can just be right there. He's there. You know what I mean? He wasn't even far away, but, explaining it like that. And that's the thing. That's the most amazing thing, isn't it? Just like when the mind is always telling us, oh, it's so far away, it's so hard, Krishna doesn't know that I exist, and blah, blah, blah. And it's just all fluff of the mind, trick of the mind. Anyway, so these stories are so nice like that.
I just read another example also that Srila Prabhupada gave an analogy. He said, just as the police car is driving through the city, and if there's a call, immediately the police will go. So similarly, when Ajamil was on his bed. As soon as he called Lord Narayan's name, the Vishnu Dutas immediately were on the scene. They're there. Boom. There's also a recurring theme here right after the Govardhan Leela, where he saved everyone. Now we can see that there's a little more of a personal attention. When his father was arrested, immediately he's laying down in his bed. He didn't say, "Oh, well, I'll be there in a minute." No, he jumped up and was immediately dove into the water and went there and rushed. It said he rushed there, jumped into the water and went to the court of Varuna. Then what happened? Let's see next.
Manvantara? Wait a minute. I'm so confused. All right. Manvantara, you want to read, or Nanda, you want to finish this up, or what?
No, let Manvantara read. I'm doing a lot of talking. Let Manvantara read.
Manvantara ji.
Sarta Darshini. Seeing that the Lord Harikesha had arrived, the demigod Varuna worshipped him with elaborate offerings. Varuna was in a state of great jubilation upon seeing the Lord, and he spoke as follows. Sri Varuna said, "Now my body has fulfilled its function. Indeed, now the goal of my life is achieved, O Lord. Those who accept your lotus feet, O personality of Godhead, can transcend the path of material existence. My obeisances unto you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, the Supreme Soul, within whom there is no trace of the illusory energy, which orchestrates the creation of this world. Your father, who is sitting here, was brought to me by a foolish, ignorant servant of mine, who did not understand his proper duty. Therefore, please forgive us, O Krishna, O seer of everything. Please give your mercy, even to me. O Govinda, you are most affectionate to your father. Please take him home."
You read the next one.
Varuna said, "All the thousands of bodies which I have received till now have been useless because all those lives I did not see you. Today my body has become successful." That is the indication of the word nibrita, which comes from ni for nitaram, complete, successful, and brita, accepting a body. Varuna said, "Today I have understood what is most valuable. Though I possessed all varieties of jewels, until now I have not obtained such a jewel as you. Those who worship your lotus feet can cross the ocean of material existence. How fortunate I am to attain your darshan without any effort. You are approached by the three paths of bhakti, jnana, and yoga. I pay my respects to you as Bhagavan, Brahman, and Paramatma. Those who claim that these realizations are tinged with Maya are wrong. These realizations are not touched by Maya, which makes the various things of this world." Krishna said, "Why are you embarrassing me by praising me like this?" In answer, Varuna says, "I have really offended you." With this mood, he speaks this verse, text 7. Varuna continued, "According to the Bhakti Sastras, one can enter the water before sunrise, after an especially short Ekadashi. Not knowing this, one of my foolish servants committed a great offense by bringing your father here. The offense of my servant is also mine." Pointing with his hand, Varuna showed Nanda, seated on a jeweled throne, which Varuna himself had offered in order to worship Nanda Maharaj, who was internally engaged in remembering Krishna, his own worshipable deity. Varuna continued, "O Krishna, you are the ocean of forgiveness, but because I am the ocean of offense, you can," I can't see the bottom part, "you can punish me suitably if you wish."
What does this do to you, Manvantara ji?
Mhm.
My goodness. a lot of
Don't you,
mercy
don't you
here.
think he was also hankering to see Krishna?
That's what
with
we've
Krishna?
heard.
Because
Yeah.
everyone else gets to see him. I mean, Lord Brahma, Indra, Sarabi, some of the other demigods were engaged in his pastimes of playing sporting events.
I've heard that too. I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to see Krishna like that. That's what demigods. That's the difference between here on this lower planetary system. We don't get to see Krishna like that.
Yeah.
But we can. He says he appears in his holy name. He's in the deity form. He's present in these pastimes. That's how we have to see him.
Do you think Father Nanda, while he was in Varuna's court, recognized Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or as his son, or maybe because it says he was meditating on Krishna as deity? So I don't know why they didn't use the word Narayana, but and although Krishna did jump in the water as his son to save his father, I'm wondering if Nanda Maharaj recognized, in order not to interfere with his Ras of parenthood.
Well,
just as we read in the beginning, let me bring that up again. The cowherd boys, everybody, the cowherd men, everyone remember this chapter? Wonderful Krishna? How after seeing him lift Govardhan Hill, they started to suspect something. They said that these extraordinary acts occurred because of a benediction by Brahman or because of Nanda Maharaj's great fortune, that perhaps this boy had achieved the mercy of Lord Narayan and was thus empowered. But all these presumptions are false, because an ordinary 7-year-old boy could never hold up the king of mountains for 7 whole days. Krishna is not a normal human being. So the same thing is happening here, where Nanda Maharaj is seeing it. Good question, Manvantara. And we'll read in tomorrow's final posting of the lessons from chapter 10 until we do the Rasa dance, which is the next chapter, that the cowherd men do start to understand who he is. Because even Varuna, the demi, and then everybody's worshiping Krishna. How is this and why is it? He must be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But even though they realize it, it doesn't diminish their love for him. It doesn't transform into awe and reverence. It just increases. Oh, wow, he's really great, wonderful.
And also, when you were saying, well, why he's meditating on his heart, his deity in his heart, and Prabhupada was just saying, I just heard in a lecture saying that love, you will meditate on that person who you really, really love. That's that.
Nice.
So he's loving, no matter what his Narayan, he loves Krishna. There's no love greater than he has for Krishna. So that was the deity of his heart, Krishna. That's what we want to get to that. We don't want to think of anything but Krishna. We don't want to love anything but Krishna. We want him to take over our whole everything. That's what we're working for, I think. Then we'll be always happy, and then people will pick up on our happiness and say, "Hey, why are you so happy?" Go on, Cheta.
Bhakti Tirtha Swami said, I pray that my consciousness will be hijacked.
By the butter thief.
Yes.
Good. Very good.
Here's the final one for today.
Okay, let's get. We're going to give Murari one more chance.
Right.
Thakur, are you there? I think his thing is frozen, or he looks pretty frozen.
Really?
Yeah.
Goodness.
Okay, so not him. And then, so Mama Dora, why don't you just finish up for us then? Looks like other people are not reading.
When Nanda Maharaj was taken away by Varuna's servants, his companions began to call loudly for Krishna and Balaram. Immediately, Krishna and Balaram could understand that Nanda Maharaj was taken by Varuna, and thus they went to the abode of Varuna, where they were pledged to give protection. Demigod Varuna received Lord Krishna and Balaram with great respect and said, "My dear Lord, actually at this very moment, because of your presence, I am materially defeated. Although I am the proprietor of all the treasures in the water, I know that such possessions do not make for a successful life. But this moment, as I look at you, my life is made completely successful because by seeing you, I will no longer have to accept a material body. Therefore, O Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Supreme Brahman, and Supersoul of everything, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you. You are the Supreme Transcendental Personality. There is no possibility of imposing the influence of material nature upon you. I am very sorry that by being foolish, by not knowing what to do or what not to do, I have mistakenly arrested your father, Nanda Maharaj. So I beg your pardon for the offense of my servants. I think that it was your plan to show me your mercy by your personal presence here. My dear Lord Krishna, Govinda, be merciful unto me. Here is your father. You can take him back immediately. In this way, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, rescued his father and presented him before his friends with great jubilation. Nanda Maharaj was surprised that, although the demigod was so opulent, he offered such respect to Krishna. That was very astonishing to Nanda, and he began to describe the incident to his friends and relatives with great wonder.
I think they're coming to the conclusion that Krishna is no ordinary person.
Mm.
This also answers what you had said. Put it back to the words for a second, Patti. This answers what you had said, Manvantar, about that he wanted, he arranged it. That's what Varuna said. You arranged it so that I would be able to see you. He said, where is it said there? I'm very sorry. I think here, read that, Manvantar.
I think that it was your plan to show me your mercy by your personal presence here. My dear Lord Krishna, Govinda, be merciful upon me. Here is your father.
Yeah, that's what you had said beforehand, that you thought that his presence there was ordained by Krishna to show mercy to Varuna. That's very good. Okay, well, that's it then. Anyone want to reflect on something that we've read today that deeply affected you?
Just as a review, then, because we missed last week because of the Rath Yatra. So thus, we've read about Krishna putting down Govardhan Hill. Then afterwards, the cowherd men reflecting on who is this boy? How did he do it? Normal 7-year-old boy could never have done that. He must be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then Indra's prayers, Sarabi's prayers, the bathing of Govinda. What a wonderful celebration. That all happened for those of you who've been there at Govinda Kund. That's where that pastime took place of all the different demigods coming and glorifying Krishna, and a big party, and the whole universe became peaceful and happy and satisfied. And thus the day ended. Then Ekadasi came, and then on Dwadasi, Nanda Maharaj went bathing, and that brings us up to this present time. So just wanted to kind of review that history since we missed it. But thank you very much. Next week, we'll have a dual lessons, the final lessons, as I said, from the 10th canto. And because we want to do a deep dive into the Rasa dance, there are 5 different chapters of the Rasa Lila, 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33. We'll do those in October. But prior to that, because Lord Chaitanya has advented to bring a special invitation to engage in Lord Krishna's intimate pastimes, and he came with his personal associates, one of whom was Rupa Goswami, and Lord Chaitanya empowered him to write books that would explain how to cultivate this special love. We're including a study of the Upadeshamrita after the 10th canto, before we stop for the summer in May. Give
Not
everybody-
after the whole 10th canto, just after
Right.
what we've read up to,
which I just explained.
to actually prepare us for
Right.
the Rasa dance.
Ah.
Some wonderful instructions.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Thank you for your association, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Vanchakapatubhishcha kripa
Krishna,
sindhubhya patitanam
Nikanam
pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo namo.
Vaishnavebhyo namo namo.
Radhe
Thank
Radhe.
you. Radhe
Radhe
Radhe.
Radhe.
All good, get back to Krishna.